Ramadan Kareem, everyone. I'm Salah from Middle East Monitor, and today I'm going to be making basbousa or harissa, whatever you call it, but with a twist. My twist today is going to be the addition of figs and ishta, or cream. So these will be almost like a cupcake, a harissa cupcake, if you will. We'll have a fig and ishta filling, and then we'll just have a nice pistachio topping.
This recipe takes the typical and beloved basbousa and elevates it to something even more delicious. Basbousa, or harissa as we call it in the Levant, is a semolina cake soaked in simple syrup. This should not be confused with North African harissa, which is a spice mix. This dessert is made all across the Middle East and is loved by most. It reminds me of my grandmother and how she would make a huge tray of it for her guests, both announced and unannounced. She somehow had a sixth sense about when she would receive unannounced guests and always had a fresh tray of harissa ready for them. Her nephew had a huge fig tree that I would climb and pick figs from every summer in Jordan as a kid, and these two memories are what inspired this dessert. Figs are my absolute favorite fruit, and I try to eat as much of them as possible when they're in season. While I love eating them as they are, I also like to incorporate them to other dishes. In this recipe, poaching the figs not only softens them, it also sweetens them when they aren't the sweetest, and also infuses the syrup with a delicate fig flavor, which we will then soak our cakes in. Make sure you flip the figs over and make sure every side is submerged in the syrup at some point. If you feel your syrup is quite watery, you can let it simmer for a few more minutes to thicken up and reduce. But don't reduce it too much as it continues to thicken as it cools. Next, we make our ishta so that it can cool along with the figs while we make the batter. The cream layer is very easy to make, but the key is to mix all of the ingredients except for the ishta together while they're still cold before putting them on the heat. This ensures that you have a smooth ishta with no clumps. Heat it on a medium heat and stir continuously until the mixture begins to hold itself and thicken. Then we quickly add our ishta and mix, then leave it to cool and continue to thicken. The ishta is sold in small tin cans and can be found at any Middle Eastern shop. Making the batter couldn't be easier. I like to mix the yogurt and baking powder together and then add it at the end. It's something my grandma used to do and now I do it. I'm not sure why, but you'll notice that the yogurt begins to froth up and I like to think it makes my harissa extra bouncy. Then we mix all the ingredients together and add the yogurt mix. Now that we have all three components ready, it's time to assemble. In a cupcake tray, add about a tablespoon of batter and press it into the bottom. You don't want to make this layer too thick because we still have a few more layers to go and you want it all to fit in the cupcake liner. Then we add the ishta, followed by the fig, and then some more batter. I like to peel my figs after poaching them because I prefer not to bite into the skin when eating the cakes, but this is a personal preference and you can skip this step. Make sure you keep the ishta away from the edges, otherwise it'll bubble up and burn, and that the fig and ishta are covered well by the batter. Once these are baked and ready, you want to pour your cooled syrup on them immediately. You want about a tablespoon or two on each. This may look like a lot, but the syrup will continue to soak through as it cools and will be absorbed all the way through. Once they've cooled, enjoy them with a hot cup of mint tea.